My name is Ramya Murali. I'm a principal at Deloitte Consulting, and I'm one of the leaders of our consumer loyalty offering. We've had this business in place for about 4 to 5 years. And what we do is we bring all of the capabilities of Deloitte together to think about any number of opportunities that a client might be facing as they think about loyalty programs. How do you build a program from scratch? How do you modernize your existing program? And when we think about modernizing an existing program, that could be, how do you improve the experience that you're delivering for your customer? That could be, how do you improve the operations that help support the program? That could be the technology that underpins it, or it could be the financial implications of your loyalty program. I think one of the things that sets Deloitte apart and makes our loyalty capability so unique is because we are a multidisciplinary firm. We have an audit business, we have a tax business, and we have our consulting business. We're able to leverage all of those capabilities, which all do come together when you think about loyalty. Loyalty is a multidisciplinary business and it touches every facet of any company. And so alongside that, we are really able to meet our clients wherever they are in their loyalty journey and help provide them the capabilities and the resources that they need to deliver that. That also includes our global firm. So we are frequently working alongside our colleagues who work outside the US as they think about the clients that they interact with, or even as we think about global solutions around loyalty. I think there are two big evolutions that we've seen in the loyalty space over the last few years. First, there's been a total proliferation of loyalty programs in the market across travel, hospitality, retail, and other consumer businesses. As that has happened, and unfortunately, as the pandemic affected us all, most programs have had to take a really sharp look at how they think about the value that they're delivering for customers, how they think about the enterprise value that their program delivers, and how are they making constant enhancements to the program with that in mind. I do think that there's vast improvements in the technology that can underpin loyalty programs, which is why we're seeing so much modernization happening. But all that technology is serving to do is to connect loyalty with the other systems that exist in a company's tech stack and making it easier for the customer to actively engage with the loyalty program. The hot topic when we talk to most companies about their loyalty programs is about personalization. But if I think about the trend that is underpinning that, it's really about how loyalty programs are this massive unlock around data. We know that every company is grappling with the quality of their first-party data, how they get access to third-party data, how are they thinking about monetizing it or not. And all of that data is what's required for a company to truly think about how they personalize the experience that they deliver for their customers. And so I think that is going to continue to be the hot topic that many companies are grappling with. How do they work through all the vast data regulations? How do they think about the way that they're providing security and matching all the privacy standards? But then how do they actually make the data work for them so that it is delivering the experience that they want to for their customers? To me, one of the most innovative trends that we see around loyalty programs is actually a very simple one, which is how is the program embedded in the mobile experience that you deliver for your customer? Getting a consumer to download an app today is it's not an easy task. And so a consumer has to believe that the app is delivering value and making the experience faster, more efficient, creating better value. But when you're able to seamlessly tie the loyalty program to the digital experience that you create for the consumer, I actually think it removes a ton of friction for the consumer. It gives you a lot more data. It also allows you to enhance that personalization. Think about the apps that motivate you to have a repeat visit because they are offering you a surprise and delight opportunity, or you know that if you achieve a certain milestone, it unlocks some benefits. Those things are all seamlessly enabled through the digital experience. And when that happens, it really unlocks a lot of value both for the customer and for the company. Increasingly, the conversation that we are having with clients is to not simply think of loyalty as a marketing tool, but to really think about it as a lever to drive enterprise value. And when you think about that, it then starts to open the aperture of what metrics can demonstrate the success of a loyalty program far more than just retention and satisfaction. Does your program serve as a vehicle to bring more customers into the funnel? Does the program help drive increased basket size, more visits, greater share of wallet? Are you able to use things like a co-brand card, which actually bring in real financial value in addition to what your customers generate? We spend a lot of time talking to our clients about making sure that you're thinking about that mix and that you lay the foundation so that you're actually able to track the value in a real way so that you can report on it. Incredibly difficult challenge to think about how you stay connected to a customer over their lifetime. Depending what industry you are in or what services you provide, there are really two different things that you can think about within the loyalty program. One is we want to make sure that loyalty programs are not a set it and forget it exercise anymore. You are constantly having to think about the features, the experience, the value that you're delivering to a customer, and how are you continuing to introduce new ways of that being realized. The other part is you have to think about how you're going to continue to stay connected to that customer over their lifetime. They're going to go through different, moments in their life where they might engage with your product or your service more or less. And your product has to evolve to meet them where they are. And so again, both of those things come back to the same underlying premise, which is really good customer segmentation. So you understand the profile of your customers, what are the things that drive their behaviors, and then importantly, how they change over time and how do you build a program that evolves with them. One of the challenges of having a house of brands is that it can be very difficult for the consumer to understand that all of those brands live in the same ecosystem. This is a very commonly seen problem in the hospitality space, as an example. And so in this instance, a loyalty program actually can be a secret sauce that can serve as the connective tissue to turn a house of brands into a branded house, right? The loyalty program can, when done correctly, serve as the unifying link that helps a customer understand what's inside that portfolio and helps to connect what might be very distinct, different experiences underneath a common vision, identity, and value for the customer. We field an annual state of loyalty survey, and every year what stands out is the number one attribute that consumers are looking for in loyalty programs is that they are able to simply and easily understand the value proposition. To me, that says, is it something that your employees can easily articulate to the consumer? Can it be on a billboard in Times Square? Is it something that can be explained in an elevator ride? All of those things are just metaphors for the same idea, which is that a consumer needs to understand why the program is valuable, why they should download the app, why they should frequent your store. And it comes down to simple. I think many companies are still in the early stages of thinking about how they tackle what are very ambitious sustainability and social responsibility agendas. And so we are still in the early stages of figuring out how loyalty really fits into that. There are some very well-known, well-talked about examples using your points to donate to causes or to certain charities, being able to transfer miles or points into offset credits. I think the practical reality is how you fit your sustainability and social responsibility agenda into your loyalty program varies so much by the industry that you happen to be in and how it fits into the customer experience of your product and then the loyalty program. To me, the key here is doing it in a way that is authentic and will resonate with customers. I think a lot of the things that have happened thus far have been valuable at the surface level, but really digging in and saying, how can you make your loyalty program members stewards and believers of your sustainability agenda. I think we're still early on, and there's more work for everyone to do to really realize that. Partnerships have always been a really important component of the loyalty space. For decades, we know about the partnerships that exist between airlines and hotels and rental cars that help link the travel journey together. But I think in the last 5 to 10 years, you've seen a different era of partnerships, really serving two purposes in my mind. One is, if you are a low frequency or low occurrence business, partnerships are a way that you stay connected to your customer more days out of the year, stay top of mind, increase share of wallet, and increase connection to your brand. The other is, and this is more of an internally focused ambition, partnerships are a tremendous way for companies to unlock more access to data, more information. And we're seeing that there are lots of new examples of partnerships that are entering into the market. I think the key about partnerships, like, there's really three things. One is the partnership connected to what your brand identity is? Does it make sense that these two brands could exist together? The second is the partnership valuable for both brands? And not all partnerships need to be forever. I think we can think about partnerships that are for a season, that are more temporal or situational, and we can think about others that really persist. And so those are the conversations that we're having with clients as we help them think through their partnership agenda. As we think about the next 18 to 24 months, I think there are a couple of things that are probably top of mind to any head of loyalty or CFO or CEO as they think about their programs. One of which is, we've seen in the last year or so, there have been some very public revaluations of programs in the retail space and the travel space, and they've come under tremendous scrutiny from consumers and from the market. And I think it's because there is this expectation that programs are not living organisms that are going to change and evolve over time. And so I think that changing the consumer perception and helping consumers understand that this type of revaluation of a program is going to happen, and it's both to make the program valuable for the organization, but ultimately more valuable for the consumer, is a necessary reality that we have to adjust to. I think that's going to be even more important as we think about how there might be market changes over the next 18 to 24 months, and consumers' willingness to spend and what they spend on is going to continue to change. And so I think top of mind for any company as they think about their loyalty program is what is required so that that program stays top of mind, top of wallet, top of heart for the consumers in the year to come. I realize this might be peculiar as a person who runs our loyalty practice, but when we meet with clients who don't have loyalty programs and are considering starting one, the first question I ask is why? I realize that loyalty can seem like a very, very effective lever for driving customer acquisition, retention, share of wallet, and it certainly does all of those things, but it also comes with tremendous programmatic expense. And it requires constant maintenance. And sometimes there are other levers in the customer experience toolkit, if you will, that can address the same underlying problems or challenges that a company might be facing. And so I really encourage our clients to think deeply about whether programmatic loyalty is the thing that they need to solve their problem, or if driving loyalty through any number of other levers is a realistic or practical way for them to realize their goals. I think the honest answer is it kind of depends on the industry that you live in. Industries vary so widely in terms of who is very recession proof and what industries are really severely impacted by slowing growth or economic downturns. I think that loyalty can serve two purposes in that channel. And the closest thing in the past that I can use as a point of reference is how companies thought about loyalty in the context of the pandemic. We saw most loyalty programs think about what are the new ways that they can stay connected to their customers. Think about all the travel credit cards out there. If you weren't going to spend your money on travel, all of a sudden they were giving you 2x, 3x, 4x rewards on things like gas and groceries, the things that they knew you were doing during the pandemic. I think that is one of the levers that we can expect to see from loyalty programs as market conditions change, is what are the ways that they encourage you to stay engaged with them? What are the ways that they extend their impact and reach beyond what is known to other ways that they can stay connected with the customer? When we think about loyalty programs, we typically start by thinking about retail, travel, hospitality. What's really interesting is that we are having loyalty conversations with a lot of companies outside of those sectors you might not even think about: financial services, healthcare, streaming, and media. And I think it's because they are ultimately trying to solve for the same problem that any company is solving in the B2C space, which is, how do I stay connected to my customer? How do I make sure that I'm delivering the best experience that I can? How do I capture share of wallet, share of mind, share of heart? And so some of the same levers that those traditional loyalty players have used are increasingly proving to be very viable and exciting, desirable opportunities for companies in other spaces. My 1 million points would easily go to travel. It would go to see the world. It would be to stay in beautiful, luxurious, authentic hotels in the world and just do that with friends. So that would definitely be where I would allocate. It's probably kind of where I allocate my points today too. It's not the most glamorous answer, but mine would be actually being able to deliver on one-to-one personalization. It is what we all aspire to as we think about loyalty programs. But in reality, today's loyalty personalization is in micro segments, and it's N of many. And I think that truly being able to deliver on, what do I, Ramya, want? What do you, individual, want in your loyalty program experience? I think that would be awesome. I think it's going to happen someday, but it would be cool if it could happen today. I think that it's very difficult to know where you want to end up. I didn't know that I wanted to be as specialized in loyalty and customer experience as I am. I got there by happenstance through lots of experiences, serving lots of clients and helping them think about their problems. I was less intentional about what I wanted to solve for, but I was super intentional about wanting to solve for the real gnarly questions that keep our clients up at night. And so I would just remind my younger self, for new consultants out there, that that's the experience that we have that allows us to do the best work that we can for our clients. Helping lots of clients in lots of different spaces solve their problems, and building all of that knowledge over time helps you be a better advisor to your clients.